Syrian army and the Lebanese resistance established full control over mountains of Lipa in Qalamoun, inflicting heavy losses on al-Nusra Front terrorists. 4 Saudi soldiers are killed in recent attacks. And the Food Expo concludes activities with wide participation of national companies working in the food industries. Good afternoon. This is news in English from the Syrian Art Division in Damascus. Parliament Speaker Mohammad Jihad al-Laham received Roberto Foyer, head of the delegation of the Alliance for Peace and Freedom in Europe. Mr. al-Laham affirmed that Syria is subjected to an organized international terrorism with the aim of ending the Syrian resistance stand and the steadfastness of the Syrian people who are rallying behind their leadership in confronting terrorism. In turn, Foyer said that Syria is subjected to a conspiracy hatched by many states, including the US, Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Qatar, calling for combating terrorism before it's spread to Europe and other parts of the world. Syria urged the United Nations Security Council to take a prompt and decisive action against the Turkish government, whose actions against Syria are tantamount to aggression. Addressing 2 identical letters to the United Nations Secretary General and the United Nations Security Council Chief concerning recent reports in Turkish media about Turkish arms transfers to Syria, the Foreign and Expatriates Ministry said the UN and its counter-terrorism committees must oblige to the Turkish government to control its borders and stop training and supporting terrorist organizations. The Turkish daily Cumhuriyet has recently published a news story including photographs and a link to an online video which revealed large quantities of mortars, shells, grenade launchers and ammunition hidden in a Turkish truck bound for Syria. Reports showing the Turkish support for terrorists, as revealed by the Turkish media, are only tip of the iceberg of the scope of the Turkish involvement in the current events, said the letters. Concluding the letters, the ministry said that the silence over Turkey's crimes is a tacit support for terrorism, which will prolong the Syrian crisis and provides a cover for terror organizations that encourage them to commit more atrocious acts against Syrians.
After the Turkish Cumhuriyet newspaper published an exclusive report which shows lorries belonging to the Turkish intelligence agency carrying weapons to Syria, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan threatened a journalist at one of the country's newspapers, saying he will make him pay the highest price. The Cumhuriyet newspaper published a video showing what appears to be police officers inspecting a cargo on the back of 3 trucks belonging to Turkey's state intelligence agency. This follows a Reuters story last month which included witnesses reporting that they have seen trucks delivering arms to ISIL-held areas in Syria in 2013 and 2014. The allegations angered Erdogan, who told Turkey's public broadcaster TRT that the newspaper report was espionage and that he would not let this go without holding the newspaper accountable. The involvement of the Turkish government in smuggling weapons into Syria is thus exposed once again, showing Erdogan's regime deeply immersed in the conspiracy against the Syrian people.
A unit of the Syrian army killed a number of Jabhat al-Nusra terrorists in Kafr Shams in the countryside of the southern Daraa city. Later, an army unit killed 6 terrorists of the so-called Liwa al-Yarmouk, among them non-Syrians, and destroyed 3 cars equipped with machine guns in Al-Karak al-Sharqi neighborhood in Dar al-Balad. In Aleppo, units of the army and the armed forces killed a number of ISIS terrorists in that area surrounding the Air Force Academy, destroying several of their dens and vehicles in Anadan, Hayyan, Attin and Al-Mansura in the countryside of Aleppo province to the north of Syria. And in a related context, a unit of the Syrian army and armed forces and the Lebanese resistance established full control over Jurud Flita in Qalamoun, inflicting heavy losses on al-Nusra Front terrorists. Earlier, the General Command of the Syrian army and armed forces vowed that military operations will continue until full control is established over Qalamoun mountainous region along Syria's borders with Lebanon. In a statement, the General Command extolled the achievements of the armed forces in Qalamoun, which it said have dealt a debilitating blow to the Wahhabi project in the region and debunked its bankers. On the other side of the Syrian border, the Lebanese national resistance continued its advancement in Arsal mountains, establishing full control over the mount of Shbayt al-Qal'a and part of al-Zamrini crosspoint. Resistance sources said that scores of terrorists were eliminated during the operations. Secretary General of Lebanon's Hezbollah, Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, said that the achievements made in the past few days gave the Syrian Arab Army and the resistance the upper hand in Al-Qalamoun and Arsal areas. In a televised speech, Nasrallah said the element that speeded up the commencement of Al-Qalamoun battle was the direct attack by terrorists on army and resistance sites, particularly the recent attack by Al-Qaeda offshoot Jabhat al-Nusra on areas in Yunin, Nahla and Arsal. He noted that ISIS and its project are being exploited by certain sides to protect it, fund it and buy oil from it, with the goal of employing it as a pawn in the battles taking place in the region. The death toll from the two explosions that targeted a gathering for the People's Democratic Party in the Turkish city of Diyarbakir reached 4, while more than 200 are wounded. A chairman of the party, Salah ad-Din Demirtas, warned members of the party against taking any provocative acts. Member of the Turkish parliament, Altan Tan, held the Turkish government responsible for the two explosions, adding that the aim of such acts is to aggravate tension, spread terrorism and delay the elections. He stressed that the Turkish security agents were informed of the two explosions, but the government did not take any preemptive measures to prevent their occurrences. Al-Saud regime admitted the death of 4 Saudi soldiers during clashes that took place on the Saudi-Yemeni borders. Sources in the so-called coalition forces said that a captain in the Saudi National Guard was among the victims. The sources added that the clashes took place in Jizan and Najran, referring that the Saudi forces used artillery and Apache helicopters. The first official rally for drift sport was organized in Damascus countryside at Zaman al-Khair track with the participation of well-known drivers.
Zaman al-Khair track in Damascus countryside witnessed yesterday the launching of the Syrian drifting competition for the first time in Syria. This competition was organized by the Ministry of Tourism in cooperation with the Syrian Cars Club.
The added value of this event is that the Syrian, especially the Syrian youth, that restore their life to nearby Damascus by creative and innovative ideas to this area after our soldiers make this area safety.
This activity is a very important message to all the Syrians and inside and outside of Syria that life will go on. We will go back to all kinds of activities in Syria and all kinds of human and sport activities in Syria. Wherever we are trying to do as much as we can to improve our sport. That's our main goal.
It's a pleasure to me to be here, and it was a really nice round for me. Some problems in the car, but finally it was a perfect round, and it was a nice event.
The club imposed certain rules and regulations related to the safety of the competitors, and there was a special committee for examining the cars before the start of the race. Drift race has special regulations, and the time is not considered an influential factor.
With this, we reach the end of our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region, you can always visit our website in English, www.syriaonline.sy. Now, the latest business and market news with Nariman, but after a short break.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Activities of the 11th session of the food exhibition Food Expo 2015 under the title of Our Hope is Big and Our Effort is Continued for Syria at Damascus-based Dama Rose Hotel. The exhibition activities lasted from the 1st to the 3rd of June. More in the following report.
Exhibition Director of Delta Group for Company and Business Organizer of the exhibition, Riyaf Shamar, said that holding the exhibition in cooperation with the Arab Union for Food Industries and the Syrian Chambers of Commerce and Industry proves Syria's recovery and the confidence of its people in continued work and development. Shamar stressed the necessity of the presence of food industries, companies and businessmen for upgrading the national economy and opening the doors before the national production to reach a competitive level.
We are importing food products for Syrian markets. Our products are good quality and affordable prices.
Our services by land transport and sea freight and air freight. We can serve all customers here in Syria and Latakia port.
The Food Expo has become an important landmark for the early recovery stage of the Syrian economy and for marketing the Syrian food industries, and a chance for businessmen and specialists working in the food industries sector to meet and hold commercial and industrial deals, and consumers to get acquainted with what is new in this regard.
The Ministry of Electricity began a set of special steps for the holy month of Ramadan and the period of school exams in order to secure the supply of electrical power. The programs of rationing applied and directed the maintenance workshops around the clock in order to repair any malfunction to the network to ensure the reliability of the power supply. It is to be noted that the Ministry of Electricity recently received a second batch of 4 mobile stations, each with 20 megawatt ability at a cost of 4 million euros, as a part of its plan to secure the supplies of electrical sector by signing several contracts with friendly countries. Nikkei index fell in early trading in Tokyo securities today. According to Reuters, Nikkei fell 0.44% to reach 20,398.76 points, while the broader topics dropped 0.56% to reach 1,664.45 points. And now over to some main currencies exchange rates according to the bulletin of the Central Bank of Syria. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our economic news for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.